And I started seeing shit about. Let me just go to. Trial update. Okay, so it's saying he accepted a plea deal. Oh. I didn't stream yesterday. I was on my phone. I started seeing everything about Thug free, Thug coming home. So now we're going to get into this shit. Young Thug accepts a plea deal in the YSL RICO trial. Let me see what I can hear. It should be so low when they be in court.
Jeffrey Williams, Jefffery, Williams.
Good afternoon, Mr. Williams.
Good afternoon.
Are you the same Jeffrey Williams indicted in case number, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, have we all signed the indictment, or are we going to do that afterwards? Because I don't have a copy of it.
I don't know the answer to that.
I don't believe that we have.
We have not signed the indictment.
Okay, probably be a good idea to do that.
Does anyone have a copy? Because you don't? Okay.
Where's the one we were using yesterday? We'll do that in just a minute. You can go ahead with the colloquy.
And Your Honor, we don't have the waiver form as well. I believe that the court had one.
Got it right here.
I've got blanks. Y'all filled one out, right?
We have.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Williams, are you the same Jeffrey Williams indicted in case number 22SC183572?
Yes.
Okay. And are you also known as Young Thug?
Yes.
Are you at this time taking or under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medication?
No.
Is there any medication that you normally take that you have not been given today?
No.
How old are you?
33.
And how far have you gone in school?
9.
Say that one more time.
9.
Okay. Are you able to?
Damn, this shit be crazy how young these niggas be jumping in the streets and shit like that. This nigga only went to the 9th grade, bro. That shit crazy as fuck. Who else? Who knew that? Who would have knew that?
To read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes.
All right. Do you understand that you are charged with the following offenses? Conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, participation in criminal street gang activity, the leadership charge, participation in criminal street gang activity,
Damn.
violation of the Georgia
Yeah, the
Controlled
Racketeers
Substances
on
Act,
that nigga.
3 counts, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and possession of a machine gun. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. And do you understand that you have the right to plead either guilty or not guilty to these charges, and that if you plead not guilty or remain silent, you will continue to receive a jury trial?
Yes.
All right. And have you received this waiver of rights form that I hold in my hand from your attorney and reviewed it with your attorney?
Yes.
All right. And is this your signature on the bottom of this form?
Yes.
Have you had enough time to speak with your attorneys, Mr. Steele and Mr. Adams, about all of the facts and circumstances known to you regarding the charges in indictment 22SC183572, including any potential defenses?
Yes.
Do you need additional time to discuss this case with your attorneys?
No.
Are you satisfied with their services?
Yes.
Mr. Steele and Mr. Adams, do you on behalf of Mr. Williams waive a formal reading of this indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
We do.
And do you, Mr. Williams, waive any and all defects in this indictment, including any with respect to your name?
Yes.
Have you been arrested on these charges?
Yes.
The state is
So all the other niggas already pled guilty. He was the only one taking me to trial.
unaware of any outstanding warrants related to these charges. Do you or your attorneys know of any outstanding warrants related to these charges?
Cause like a day before the news came out that that Thug was taking a plea deal. I think it was named Quay or something like that. YSL Quay. Let me open a new tab. YSL Quay. I'm pretty sure it was YSL Quay. He took a plea deal.
Marquavius Huey, Marquavius.
Defects, if any, which may carry a sentence of 1 to 15 years in prison.
Yes.
Nor the district attorney's office is of probation.
Yes.
And did you fully understand?
Let me hear this shit.
Yes.
Do you understand that the court does not have to accept that recommendation?
Yes.
And the court can sentence you to the maximum of each charge and can run those charges consecutively, one after the other.
Yes.
Do you understand this plea may be used to enhance sentencing on other convictions in this jurisdiction?
Anyway, the nigga ended up getting, I think he ended up getting 10 years. 10 years and some shit like that. We'll see what the
Outstanding warrants related to any of the charges in the indictment?
No,
No.
I don't believe so either, Your Honor.
Okay. And I'm unaware of any as well, Your Honor.
I am as well.
Thank you. Have your attorneys advised you of the minimum and maximum sentence for each of the crimes that you are charged with?
Yes.
And each of the charges that you are pleading guilty to?
Yes.
Your Honor, with respect to the charges that Mr. Williams faces, count 1 carries a minimum charge of 5 years and a maximum charge of 20 years in prison or up to a $25,000 fine or both.
Isn't it a $15,000 fine because wasn't it the version of the statute in effect at the time, or was that the same for RICO? Was RICO 25?
Yes, RICO was
Okay.
25.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Count 56 carries a minimum sentence of 5 years in prison, a maximum of 20 years in prison, consecutive to any other sentence, with a fine of $10,000 to $15,000 or both.
Okay.
Count 57 carries a minimum sentence of 5 years in prison and a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison.
So that's
Count
40.
58 carries a minimum sentence of 1 and a maximum
Max. That's 40 max. Like if he got maximum sentence.
sentence of 10 years in prison.
That's 50.
Count 59 carries a sentence range of 5 to 30 years in prison. Count 60 carries a
What the
sentence.
fuck do they mean 5 to 30? That is a drastic fucking change. What do you mean 5 to 30? What the fuck is that count?
Hang on, slow down just a second.
5 to 30 years in prison. Count 59 carries a
Count 59 got a crazy ass number
sentence
on it.
range of 5 to 30 years in
That
prison.
must be some
Count
crazy
60
shit.
carries a sentence
Hang on,
range.
slow down just a second. All right, and that's for the amount of that drug that was found on 59, 5 to 30?
That's as a result of the charge itself.
I knew I wasn't tripping. The judge wanted to know what the fuck that was too. 5 to 30. That's a crazy in between, bro. That's a crazy ass.
I believe district with
Y'all
intent
know
to
what the fuck I
distribute.
I
mean.
think that 59, Your Honor, is simple possession Of cocaine, I have to look at the indictment to be
I
sure.
think that's 60.
Okay.
Let me look.
Okay.
And Your Honor, what
59 is codeine. And
Yes.
60 is cocaine.
Yes.
So,
Your Honor, it is with the intent to distribute. So my reading of the statute is that it carries the range of 5 to 30.
Okay.
okay.
Well, okay, so he was.
And Your Honor, also, as I have the
indictment
indictment in my hand from Ms. Roster, may I pass it to counsel for Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With the court's permission, I'll permit time
Go
for
ahead.
them to 5 years in prison. Count 61 carries felony
Okay. And he got a bid.
that neither the court nor the district attorney's office has anything to do with parole or the Department of Corrections or the Board of Pardons and Paroles, and that if you are sentenced to confinement in the Georgia Department of Corrections, no one can guarantee parole.
You can say yes.
Well,
She asked you, do you say that? you
Oh,
can
yes,
guarantee
ma'am.
Parole.
Your Honor, may I allow Mr. Williams time to finish signing the indictment?
yeah.
No one can guarantee
What was she saying?
or the Department of Corrections that neither the court. Were you aware of that, Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Where is the plea?
Do-
Did I miss the shit?
In my hand from Ms. Roster, may I pass it to counsel for Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, take me to somebody who's gonna tell me what the fuck just.
We
I
do
just
want to come on
watched.
the air here with breaking news, in fact, instead of going to that break. Out of Atlanta, rapper Young Thug is now pleading guilty in what has become Georgia's longest-running criminal trial. The plea just announced in Fulton County Court just minutes ago. The rapper, whose real name is Jeffrey Lamar Williams, was indicted in 2022 on racketeering charges. Prosecutors say the rapper led a street gang that committed murder, armed robbery, carjackings, and also dealt drugs. Nearly 30 other co-defendants were named in this case. Young Thug's trial has been plagued by problems, including 2 judges having to recuse themselves and mounting concerns last week that a mistrial could be ordered. Let's bring in ABC News legal contributor Shauna Lloyd now, who joins me with more. Shauna, talk to me first just about the state of play in this trial and remind me, frankly, of how
It is one of the longest trials that Georgia has had. That says a lot about this.
Hello.
I think you didn't ask about count 62.
During the commission of a felony, how do you plead?
Guilty.
And as to count 1,
I do want to play taking that plea deal in court, and then I'll have you react
Yeah,
in the
that's what I
back end.
want.
But here is what just played out in court just moments ago.
as to count 60, violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act, how do you plead?
Guilty.
As to count 61, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, how do you plead?
Guilty.
And as to count 1, conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, how do you plead?
No law.
As to count 56, participation in criminal street gang activity under the leadership charge, how do you plead?
No law.
I think you didn't ask about count 62.
As to count, thank you, Your Honor. As to count 62, possession of a machine gun, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty to the offenses you have indicated because you are in fact guilty of these charges?
Yes.
And Shauna, something that I heard.
That shit crazy. They make you stand up there and say that shit. Yes. The nigga said yes. He trying to get up out that motherfucker. Free that boy. Is he out? Is he out that motherfucker?
Yes, ma'am. I take full responsibility for, you know, my crimes or my charges. I want to say sorry to my family, my mom. My mom got 11 kids. I can't say all their names, you know. My managers, my kids that's not here. Really everybody that got something to do with this situation, I want to say sorry for just like, you know, having so much time invested into this, you know, and I am a smart guy, I am a good guy, and I really got a good heart, you know. I find myself in a lot of stuff because I was just nice or cool, you know, and I understand that you can't be that way when you reach a certain height because it could end bad, and it don't really have to have nothing to do with you, but it could end bad and it could, you know, fall on you. And I know the choice.
Is it me or this nigga Thug voice sounding exactly how he rap when he talk? That shit crazy.
Yours is up to you, and I hope that you allow me to go home today and just trust in me to just do the right thing and never see you again unless it's at a, you know, bar in the future or something. Just out of this type of situation, I promise you I won't ever be in this type of situation again. I'm going away. I've learned from my mistakes. You know, I come from nothing and I've made something and I didn't take full advantage of it. I'm sorry.
My boy Thug up there pouring out his heart. Let that man out of there. That's the only thing for you to do. Free Thug.
Through these last 2.5 years of my life, you are really, truly, honestly, the best thing that has happened to me because you made everything fair for me and everybody involved on both sides, you know. I'm sorry to the sheriff, you know, everybody for just having to put extra time in. I know y'all got paid more money, but I'm sorry for y'all having to put this extra time in to be away from y'all family, you know, and I just hope that you find it in your heart to allow me to go home.
That nigga want to go to the crib.
Be with my family and just do better as a person. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I am. I know the heights I've reached. I know the impact I got on people, period, in the community, you know, all people. I learned that late, like these past 2 or 3 years of my life, I kind of learned that late. And maybe it was because I was, you know, probably on drugs or anything, I don't know. But I have came to my senses and I understand what I mean to this world. But I am a good guy, you know, I don't mind doing stuff like, you know, like free shows, and I always did that. You know, I did free shows and gave it to single parents, millions of dollars. You know, I made $1.8 million on a free show, and I gave it all to single parent charity. And I did like 2 or 3 shows that made like $700,000 a piece, and I gave it to the breast cancer organization. Like, you know, I do things like I put millions of dollars back into my community for real. I really did. I did more than anybody ever did from my side, you know. But I understand.
That boy Thug got, this nigga, I know this nigga did not just get the popping it in court.
I understand how it could be twisted. I understand what it could do to the mind of people. I understand all that, and I promise you I'm 100% changing that. You know, it's just, I'm older, I'm grown now, you know, and it's just like, I'm smarter. It's more things to rap about. Like, I've experienced a lot of good things. I experienced more bad things, but I experienced a lot of good things too. And anyway, I can go forever. Well,
I appreciate it. And I appreciate that you do realize how much of an impact you have on people. I mean, it's past your neighborhood. It's worldwide, especially young people. And having come up from where you came up from and living in and around that, you know that gangs are damaging to our community. And it may be that a whole lot of rap music and the rap industry is, I mean, honestly, it sounds like a modern day version of kind of WWE wrestling that used to be on television, where people would just get up and posture and act like they hated each other. And it may be that that's a lot of what is going on in the music industry with rap. But whether it is fake or not, it has tremendous impact on kids and young people.
Type shit, cause them kids, bro, the kids take anything and run with that shit now. Like man, that shit crazy. It is crazy how much of an impact that a rapper that a kid has never met, he's never seen. He might not ever meet him. And then if he does meet him, he might be a fucking asshole. But it's crazy how much of an impact that a rapper or a kid favorite artist can have on them. I remember because I was like that. I was like that with 50 Cent and them when G Unit was out. That shit crazy.
Who think this is cool, this is what I want to do, look at him, he's a millionaire. I can do that by being, a gangster in the streets. And that's not true. What you're likely to have happen to you if you're a gangster in the streets is you get shot, you get killed, or you get thrown in prison. And those are, by far the most likely outcomes. And, you've been in here watching the trial, and you've seen the pictures of Mr. Ryan posing with a gun as big as he is at 15 years old and going out and shooting and killing another teenager. And that's what gangs do, and that's unfortunately a lot of what rap music does. And if you are a modern day John Lennon, he might have rapped too in this day and age. I don't know, but I know you're talented, and even if you choose to continue to rap, you need to try to use your influence to let kids know that that is not the way to go, and that there are ways out of poverty besides hooking up with the powerful guy at the end of the street selling drugs. And, I know that happens for protection sometimes, but a much better way would be getting an education and hanging around with people who set a good example. And you be one of those people that sets a good example.
Free that man.
That's my high horse on that. I could also go on. But I want you to try to be more of the solution and less of the problem. All right? All right.
Let that man go
it is
home.
Not,
say it.
Lost on the court that the state, had they been able to come to agreement on certain special conditions, was willing to entirely dismiss the RICO count, was willing to entirely dismiss one of the gang counts, and was willing to entirely dismiss this, machine gun count. Was willing to give a sentence that permitted Mr. Williams to walk out of the door today.
That nigga out that bitch today.
And therefore does not seem
not
to
today.
be particularly worried that
Mr. 22
Williams,
hours ago. That's
if on the
today.
streets, would be a danger to society. I'm taking that into consideration and crafting my sentence. And in permitting a NOLO plea to the RICO count and one of the two gang counts, I would not be permitting the NOLO to the one if you were not pleading guilty to at least one of them. But you are, and y'all admit a factual basis for the counts that you are pleading guilty to. I find there to be a factual basis for those counts and for the remaining counts with which you are charged, I am going to impose a sentence, and I've taken a little bit of the suggested special conditions
That
from
boy Thug
the
out
defense
there,
and a
that
little
nigga
bit
at
of the special
home right now,
conditions
bruh, in
suggested
his
by the
crib.
prosecution.
That's crazy, bruh. I'm glad that nigga out there jammed, man. Yes, sir. This nigga Woody been out here living his best life. Sad, Thug been in this bitch looking sad and depressed. Can't get his dreads redone. Can't put drip on. Can't up racks and shit. Oh God, free Thug. I'm glad. Well, Thug free. That shit backwards now. Thug free. That shit backwards. That shit backwards. It's crazy. I heard something about this nigga wanting another trial. Why do he want another trial and they just gave him life?